Streets of Laredo. How many of you drivers actually have been to Laredo? Okay, a lot of you old school guys have done it millions of times. How many times have you done it recently? There's less and less of us going to Laredo, which, hey, those loads going to Laredo and from Laredo are often some of the best ones to get. Okay, they got a lot of miles on them, and when you leave Laredo, you got a lot of miles going out. Those could be good paying loads. But guess what? Ever since the whole B1 program and all this stuff going on in the trucking industry, it allows people from Mexico, drivers from Mexico, to take those loads all the way into wherever they want. Same with Canada. The Canadian truck drivers can go and do the same thing. So this right here, this is what they're doing down in Laredo. The streets of Laredo. Why do I keep on saying that? Is that they are now offering English classes. Listen, hey, drivers knowing English could be a very good thing. The problem is are these Mexican drivers? I'm not talking American drivers. I'm talking about people, citizens from Mexico. When I actually say Mexicans, I don't mean Mexican Americans, Latinos. I mean actual Mexican citizens driving trucks, hauling loads that you used to do. And are these guys taking these classes? Now, you do have a lot of people, American citizens, that are getting into trucks that have a tough time with English, especially down in South Texas. Listen, if they're American citizens, I don't have a problem with it. Say if you have Swift or PAM or Schneider, these companies that hire American truck drivers, not visas, American truck drivers, they still may have an issue with speaking English. Hey, learn English and drive trucks and make that good money, okay? The problem that we have here is not people learning English. That's a great thing. The problem we have is these B1 visas, these guys being able to go and haul our freight, not knowing English. They're pulling loads, and there's very, very little enforcement. So in the last 24 months, ELP violations, that is English language proficiency, violation by carrier through headquarters city, is Laredo is like by far out. It beats San Diego, Houston, Miami, Philadelphia, El Paso, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Louisville, Chicago. Of course, you know, how many times have you left Laredo and you actually see DOT officers actually doing their job? Quite a bit. Like between the U.S. Border Patrol and Texas DOT officers, there's a lot between there and San Antonio, from Laredo to San Antonio. I mean, they're busy. They're actually busy through there. So they have been enforcing it. Now, obviously, you know, they haven't been out of service violations until now. You know, all they have been is like cited. You know, but Laredo-based motor carriers topped more than 1,000 violations. I mean, that's even beating Chicago. Okay, now granted, is Illinois enforcing this stuff? Probably not. But still, we know how bad Chicago is with the Eastern Europeans. But this takes the cake. And hey, and what are they doing? They're hiring Mexicans, legit Mexican citizens, driving trucks into the United States, taking your loads. So in the last 10 years, you know, since the Obama administration eased up on English proficiency amongst truck drivers, this has grown into a big problem down in Laredo. Some fleets with 10 drivers might be 100% Mexican citizens operating legally through the B1 program. Some fleets with 2 or 3 or 4 or even 1,000 drivers might be 100% Mexican citizens. I mean, just think of that. And they are coming in and taking your loads. Guys, back in the day, this is how we used to do it driving a truck. It would either be a drop and hook, like if you worked at a mega carrier. Like in my day, I worked at Werner when I was learning how to drive a truck and all that. I worked for Werner twice, and both times was in the early 2000s. And we have a drop yard down there, and sometimes you would have to wait for a load to come up, so you may have to wait a day or two. And that was before we had a 34-hour reset, and you may have to wait a day or two. So Werner had a pretty good nice little terminal there to spend a day or two. But then that load will come up from Mexico. You'd have to inspect it and all that, make sure the trailer's good, because hey, that might not be. But then you've got a good run on your hands. Some drivers had a dedicated run from Laredo to Dallas, just back and forth, gravy. But if you didn't work for a mega carrier that didn't have a drop yard or whatever, you had forwarding places. These forwarding places, you take a load down there, and then you would go get a load. Sometimes you'd have to wait for that Mexican truck to bring that load up. But once it did, that forwarding place would take the product off their trailer and put it on yours, and you're on your way. And it was good runs to have for American truck drivers. It was a good thing. I don't have a problem with Mexican trucks crossing the border and coming in, and say you have a 30-mile way, because sometimes it may be 20-30 miles away from the border to a forwarding warehouse. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem is with those Mexican trucks not even going to those forwarding places. They're just going straight to Kentucky. They're going straight to Illinois, Indiana, Dallas, New York, wherever. These are loads that we could take, that we should take. And no one's saying anything about it except for American Truckers United. Okay, I've been saying this. We got a petition. I'm going to say it until we get something done. Is to get rid of this B1 visa thing for drivers, driving a truck. We need to get back to the way it was, way it's supposed to be in the first place. Okay, we need to get back the way it was. So sign this petition. We're sending it to Secretary Duffy. Okay, and we got a lot of signatures already, but we need more. We absolutely need more. I appreciate you guys watching Bonehead Truckers on this. We'll keep fighting, keep the message going. Okay, let's get Laredo back. Okay, let's get Laredo. Let's get those loads back. Let's make our roads safer. Let's promote training for truck drivers. Okay, Let's make our road. Let's make trucking great again. The great trucking revolution. It's happening right now, folks. Bonehead Truckers, we gone.